This one is absolutely shocking, shocking, y'all. And I do not use that word lightly. In this case, we have the very, very first returns for the WNBA All-Star Game voting. Now, you've heard us. You've heard people like myself, Rhodes at Black and White Sports 2, Ben Daniel at the Ben Daniel podcast, Rudy, Come On Now podcast, and many others talking about what the Indiana Fever are doing to Caitlin Clark, not just in her performance and limiting her performance by the way they are making her play in this ridiculous, ineffective Stephanie White system instead of catering to her strengths and playing read and react and up tempo and all of that, that it's not only hurting her performance, it's hurting her brand, it's hurting her popularity. And I've said many times, I said, look, people might not notice it because it's not going to happen all at once in massive numbers, but fans are going to leave. Fans are going to check out, and you might see a game that gets 2.5 million viewers, but in 2024 it might have been 3.5. I did a video just recently. We talked about the ticket availability. How many tickets were available for Gamebridge for the game last night, where it drew just over 15,000. Not only is that down from the 17,000 plus that they averaged throughout the entire 2024 season, but ticket prices have come way down as well, right? You could get tickets for 10, 11 bucks. You could not do that before. And now if this doesn't tell you that there is a problem, if this doesn't tell you there has been a hit to Caitlin Clark's popularity, to Caitlin Clark's brand, because of the way she's being handled by the Indiana Fever, by the front office, by Amber Cox, by Kelly Kroskov, by that horrifically bad file coach, Stephanie White. I don't know what else does. She won the voting in 2024. She won the voting in 2025. And let's not forget, she had barely played in 2025, right? She didn't even play in the All-Star game, but she won the voting. And yet here we are, the first returns, and we have Caitlin Clark at fifth. Yes, fifth. By the way, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Of course, appreciate all your support. Quick favor, like, comment, subscribe. You all know the drill. Make sure you are still subscribed because YouTube gets funky. But yeah, you heard me. Fifth, 253,602 votes. 55,000 votes behind Asia Wilson. That is a huge number when you're talking about the top number being 308,000. Paige Beckers is second. Aaliyah Boston, her own teammate, 282,186, sitting in at three, almost 30,000 votes more than Caitlin Clark. Then we have Brianna Stewart, only slightly ahead, a little over 2,000 votes ahead of Caitlin Clark in the number 5 spot. Did I mention that Caitlin Clark is in the number 5 spot? This is, I mean, if you don't understand now, Slurp FC, for example, the damage that is being done by the Indiana Fever organization when it comes to Caitlin Clark. She is not just a generational player in how she plays the game, but there has never been, and I know y'all know this, but there's never been, I can't emphasize it enough in this instance how important it is to understand and grasp what is going on here. Never been a basketball player with Caitlin Clark's popularity. I mean, do we have to go into the recent jersey sales update, right? Number two, and that's including NBA players. The only NBA player selling more jerseys than Caitlin Clark a little while back was Steph Curry. And now you have Caitlin Clark fifth in All-Star voting. And I know you're going to get a lot of people who will be like, well, they've got the bots voting for all these other players. Okay, well, so you're telling me that with all her fans, there isn't somebody who's a Caitlin Clark fan that can't go ahead and figure out how to do that as well, right? Like I think there's a level playing field in that. The point is she's still number 5. So can we recover? Can she recover? I guess I should say. Yeah, of course. But to continue to deny that there are Caitlin Clark fans who have given up. And again, it's not just, one isolated thing. It's how she's being treated as well. People are getting tired of the entire thing when it comes to Caitlin Clark, how she's being treated, how Stephanie White is playing her into the system that doesn't fit, how Stephanie White is treating her, how the coaching staff is treating her, right? We've seen the video. We can go back to last year too with what was it Coach January who ran out onto the court, I think at the beginning of a timeout break when Caitlin Clark was pumped because she made a big play. She's hyping up the crowd and she goes out here to like grab her back, right? We see Stephanie White doing that all the time after the hit by Brittany Griner, right? The dirty shoulder to Caitlin Clark's jaw and she goes down. She should go down. She wouldn't make, and Stephanie White's yelling at Caitlin Clark to get up instead of, I don't know, going after the referee after maybe making sure Caitlin Clark is actually okay. And again, there was never even any concussion protocol that I'm aware of that was done, which should be automatic for a play like that. And then you get how she's playing, you get the way Stephanie White's talking about the media and on and on and on. And people are done. I mean, this is a good example too, because here's a clear-cut number. Who's voting for Caitlin Clark? We can see what happened in 2024. We can see what happened in 2025, and then we can look at what's happening now. To say there is a to say there is not a decline is complete delusion. It is denial of what is actually going on. And you know who's leaving? This is a big part of the problem. The more diehard fans are leaving, right? Because they're the ones who take that extra bit of time to do something like go vote for all-star teams, right? It's not the super casual fans that flick on the TV because they happen to know there's a game on and maybe they're even doing other stuff and it's kind of on in the background and they're keeping an eye on it because they love watching Caitlin Clark play Caitlin Clark basketball. They love watching Caitlin Clark shoot the logo three, which we're not seeing as much, right? They love Caitlin Clark running. They love Caitlin Clark's passing. All these things that have been limited and diminished by the Stephanie White offense, by the roster that the Indiana Fever have put together. And people are getting to kind of like, it's just not exciting. It's just not what it used to be. It's not must see TV. In 2024, it was must see TV. Caitlin Clark fans made sure they knew when games were kind of like what a lot of NFL fans do nowadays, right? They schedule their weekends around their team's game. I do it with the Eagles without a doubt. I want to make sure, okay, are they playing their normal Sunday 1 o'clock or is this a special thing? Is it a late game, Sunday night game? Are they on Monday? Because I got to make sure because I've got to get certain other things done so I don't miss that game. And that is the way Caitlin Clark fans have been, and not so much anymore. You have a lot of them who are like, well, if I remember there's a game on, I'll flip it on and see how it's going. But if it's not entertaining basketball, if it's not Caitlin Clark basketball, I'm not engaged fully. I may keep it on, so you're going to get viewership for TV ratings, but I'm not engaged. And big thing you're not getting, again, with the attendance, it's a big deal to go from 17,000 to 15,000. That's a significant number. You factor in the ticket price collapse, revenue is a lot less, and you're getting all those diehard fans who were traveling, who were driving cars 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 hours, staying in hotels, right? Hanging out in Indy, getting tourism dollars. Those people are not, right? They're seeing the fact that the Fever now, after their botched injury stuff, then they're making Caitlin Clark probable for every game. People are like, screw you. You want to do that? I'm not taking the chance of spending all that money and making all these plans and taking my time to go to an Indiana Fever game and Caitlin Clark might not even play. And if she does play, she's not going to play like Caitlin Clark because of Stephanie White. So we'll see how it goes. She can recover. But again, we have not seen in 2 years Caitlin Clark be anything but number one every step of the way. The brand has taken a hit. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you later.